Chief Mr. Diekaagu, or as the streets, the elders, and even the customs officers at Murtala Muhammad Airport called him, Chief D, short for Chief Dollars, was not your average 75-year-old man. He was a living legend, a tycoon, a walk-in bag of money. At 20, he left his mother's compound in worn-out slippers and a red polybag to serve under his uncle at Onitsha Main Market. By 25, he had opened his first shop. By 35, he was crowned a chief, something that made elders twice his age grind their teeth in envy. But who would argue? The man had lands in Enugu, estates in Abuja, hotels in Dubai, school hostels in Canada, and a container always landing soon. He was known in China as Dike-san and in Angola as O Chefe Rico. Even border officers in Niger Republic knew not to waste his time. But beyond the money and the connections, Chief D was also a family man, with a, let's say, colorful family. His first wife, Mema Adana, passed away after giving birth to their last child. For 25 years, Chief D raised his 4 children alone, with discipline, tough love, and an ever-present walking stick no one ever actually saw him use, but feared deeply. Then, on his 50th birthday, just as everyone expected him to retire and become a village elder who plays drafts and warns children not to run near the gutter, Chief D shocked the entire lineage by marrying a 25-year-old woman, younger than his first daughter, lighter than his soup, prettier than sense. "Papa, this woman is too young for you," Adana had cried. Chief D simply said, "Nothing is impossible, my dear. Even Jesus turned water into wine. Let me turn loneliness into enjoyment." And so began the second chapter of his family drama. Let's meet his children. Adana, 39 and forever fine, with hips wide enough to make chairs uncomfortable, is a certified baddie. She has 2 kids, a rich husband, and a wardrobe louder than a village generator. Adana does soft life like it's a religion. She's always traveling for retreats, which somehow happen at the same time as fashion shows. She vlogs her kids' tantrums for YouTube views and can spend 300,000 naira on a bag she'll forget at her cousin's wedding. Chike, 34, is cool like ice in Harmattan. Handsome, rich, and emotionally unavailable. He runs a legit business. Nobody really knows what kind, but rarely comes home. He doesn't have time for family drama, unless it involves inheritance, in which case he appears in starched agbada with legal documents and 2 lawyers who just followed him. Kenny D, 30, believes he's Nigeria's answer to Drake. Only problem is, his lyrics sound like WhatsApp voice notes. He lives in Lagos Island, where he throws more parties than punches in his many police altercations. His father has disowned him thrice, but somehow, Kenny keeps finding his way back, especially when there's jollof rice at home. He has a baby mama, a child who calls everyone daddy, and a mixtape that still hasn't dropped since 2018. And then there's Ify, the golden egg, sweet, smart, and the only one who doesn't give Chief D high blood pressure. At 25, she's doing her master's abroad, calls home every week, and actually listens when her father gives advice. She's engaged to a decent young man who wears glasses, prays before meals, and still calls Chief D sir in every sentence. Ify is Chief D's piece. The others? His puzzle. Chief Mr. Diekaagu was getting old. At 75, his body had started slowing down, but his pride remained untouched. He was still the same bold, sharp, and stubborn business tycoon who built his empire from the ground up. Lands, estates, hotels, hostels, home and abroad, all bore his name, but now, the thought of death lingered around him more often, and he knew it was time to write a will. His wife Laura was 45. a beautiful model-like woman with glowing skin and sharp eyes. Calm on the outside, but her tongue could cut deeper than a blade. She was always smiling, always kind to his children, but behind the scenes she ran things. She didn't cook much. Her nails were too long for all that. But somehow she was in every flight, every seminar, and handled some of Chief D's businesses. She was always pretending, always present, yet never fully visible. Chief D knew his family well. Their flaws, their selfishness, their different spirits, and that was what worried him. He didn't want to leave his hard-earned legacy in careless hands. One evening, while sitting at the balcony of his large master bedroom, watching the sunset with a bitter sigh, he got an idea. The very next morning, he drove himself to his lawyer's office. "Ah, Chief D." "Welcome, sir," Mr. Smith said, standing up with respect and offering him a seat. Mr. Smith was young, intelligent, and too fine for his own good. "Thank you, my boy," Chief D said, settling in. "How are you doing?" "I'm fine, sir. How's the family? How's your health?" "We thank God," Chief D replied. Then added under his breath, "If only Keen had sense." "See his mates?" Mr. Smith smiled. "What can I do for you today, sir?" Chief D looked at him with a serious face. "I want you to help me do something. It must remain between the two of us." "I'm listening, sir. You see, I love my children. I truly do. But I love my money too, and I won't leave it in the hands of someone who'll make me shift in my grave. So, I want to fake my death." "Fake your death?" Mr. Smith blinked. "Yes," Chief D said calmly. "I want to pretend I'm dead." They talked for hours. Chief D laid out his plan and asked for it to be done quickly and quietly. Mr. Smith understood the assignment. The next day, Chief D collapsed in his office. It was all part of the plan. Laura was the first to be called. She rushed to the office and acted surprised. From there, they moved him to a 5-star hospital room, one owned by his friend, and fully prepared ahead. Laura called all his children. That evening, Adana and Keene arrived first. Adana was crying uncontrollably, clutching his arm and sobbing into his hospital bed sheets. Keen stood at the corner, muttering, "Oh, shit! Pops, how you doing?" "I'm fine, my children. Just tiredness and old age," Chief D said in a weak voice. "Pops, I was finna scared, bro. Thought you rested easy," Keen said casually. "Shut up, idiot," Chief D muttered. "It's you that will rest." Laura chuckled and stayed seated beside her husband. After a while, they left. The next day, Ify came rushing in, with tears in her eyes and her travel bag still in hand. She ran straight to the hospital room and hugged her father tight. "My daddy, my only hope." Chief D smiled weakly. "Ifeoma, my baby, when did you come back?" "Daddy, I rushed as soon as I heard. I booked the next flight. Are you okay?" "I'm fine, my dear, just old age." After that, Chief D requested to be treated from home. He wanted to rest in his own bed. At home, Chiki finally arrived. Calm, quiet, and with his usual cold expression. Everyone was shocked that he even came home at all. "Where's Daddy?" he asked. "Inside," Adana answered, eyeing him. Cheek went in, greeted his father, and sat with the doctor for a private conversation. The doctor told him Chief D had cancer, and it was terminal. He only had a month to live. Cheek was shocked. The doctor told him Chief D was already aware. Chike returned to the sitting room and told his siblings and Laura the news. Adana almost fainted. Ify burst into tears. Keen was pacing and shouting, "Shit! No! No!" Laura said nothing. She just sat quietly and cried, one tear at a time, the way women do when they're thinking deeply. But unknown to them, every room in the house was bugged. Cameras and microphones hidden behind photo frames, flower pots, even in the bookshelf. Chief D and Mr. Smith watched from a private room every night. He listened to his children's conversations. He watched their actions. He waited for their true hearts to show. They all decided to stay in the house for 1 week, to watch over their father in his final days. And Chief D, he was watching them right back. Chief D lay quietly in his massive bed, carved from ebony wood and grand enough to fit a small choir. The AC hummed above. The nurses moved like ghosts in white, and his wife Laura floated around in her silk robe, lashes curled like commas, looking like grief itself. But behind that calm was calculation. While his children grieved what they thought was a dying man, his lawyer, Mr. Smith, sat in his private office, watching everything unfold on hidden cameras. Chief D muttered, zooming in on the living room camera. Look at Keen, drinking Hennessy and crying at the same time. Madness runs in that boy's blood. Mr. Smith chuckled. But Chief D wasn't just faking death. He was testing hearts. He needed to see it all. The greed, the plotting, the true loyalty. He needed to know who loved him and who only loved the money. The first night, chaos came early. Adana took over the kitchen, not to cook, but to criticize. This house is dusty. Daddy has all this money, and this is the kind of sofa in the parlor? When I move in, when we arrange things, I'll change everything. Ify, tired-eyed from crying, replied, So you're already planning interior design, and Daddy's still breathing? Keen was casually filming a TikTok. Day 1. Pops is sick. Family gathered. This is giving Netflix drama? Chaik said little, just sipped tea like a monk and typed silently on his tablet. He took over Chief D's study and locked it every night. Laura cried beautifully in public, but in private, she whispered on the phone. Yes, not yet. The old man's still watching them. By day 4, Chief D was restless. He turned to Mr. Smith. My son, these children will make me die for real. Is that Adana pricing curtains online? They watched from the monitors. Adana and Chike whispering at the dining table. Keen outside by the pool, planning how to turn the funeral into a full-blown concert. Laura walking around in white lace, looking holy but acting shady. Only Ify stayed near him daily, feeding him, bathing him, reading reports aloud like an assistant and a daughter-in-one. Day 5 brought a full-blown fight. Keen told Chaik he deserved more of their father's shares. I care more. I've been here longer, Chaik scoffed. Care? You? You were high the day he collapsed. They shouted. Laura stepped in to separate them, but got caught in the crossfire. Adana snapped. Witch! You think we don't know it's you that poisoned Daddy with those cockerel fingers of yours? Laura hissed. Adana, I'll slap the nonsense out of your mouth. I'm not your TikTok followers. I'll beat you up right here. The screaming only stopped when Ify entered, eyes swollen from crying. Please stop, all of you. This isn't what Daddy needs. Chief D watched the whole thing and laughed. Drama, real drama. After a week, everyone left. Except Ify. She refused to go. She stayed by her father's side, combed his hair, wiped his face, and told him, Daddy, the only thing I want is for you to live longer. My siblings are unbearable. You're the only one who can control them. Chief D said nothing, but his eyes softened. Betrayals in motion. That night, Laura was on the phone with her sugar boy. That old man will soon die. Then it'll be just me and you, my love. Endless vacations. Chief D heard it all, unmoved. He already knew. He had always known. In Lagos, Chike visited Mr. Smith's office. "I want to see my father's documents, properties, accounts, everything." "I'm sorry, sir. I can only release those upon Chief D's instruction." "I'm his first son. He's almost gone." "I understand, but still, Chief's orders." Cheek stormed out, furious. He and Adana had already made a plan to share the properties and cut Laura out entirely. Meanwhile, Keen was snapping photos of his father's ATM cards, muttering to himself, "Omo, if I just get that pin, that music video go drop next week." Chief D saw it all, and though he expected it, his heart felt heavy. Only Ify remained unchanged. 2 weeks passed. Chief D called a family meeting. He was wheeled into the sitting room, looking weak and barely able to speak. "My children," he said softly, "I called you here because I'll soon leave you. Please, take care of each other. Live in peace. I will be watching." Tears fell, some real, some performed. He announced that his will and documents were in the library, and that Mr. Smith would read them when the time came. That same night, the house turned into a robbery scene. Keen snuck into the library and met Adana already there. "What are you doing?" "What are you doing?" They looked at each other, then opened the drawer together. They took pictures of the will. Just as they turned to leave, Laura appeared. "What are you two doing here?" "And you?" "What are you doing here too?" Adana shot back. They stared. "Let's just read it together," Laura said quickly, "and share it equally." "Which equally?" Adana hissed. "Who's sharing with you?" "Let's just go," Keen whispered. "We'll read it in my room." From the hallway, Ify saw them. She didn't say a word. She just shook her head and went back to bed. 3 days later, Chief D died. Agony filled the house. Everyone wore black. Mr. Smith gathered the family in the massive living room. "Before the burial, Chief D asked me to play a video," he said. They all sat. The screen lit up and played them all. Their voices, their plans, their betrayals. Chaik and Adana, whispering and plotting, Chaik yelling at Mr. Smith in his office, Laura promising vacations to her lover Kine, snapping ATM cards and mumbling account numbers. They were all exposed. Laura gasped, "Blood of Jesus!" Adana started crying. Chike shouted, "What kind of nonsense is this?" Kine tried to leave, but Chike grabbed him. "You two will sit down." Only Ify was untouched. No video, no evidence, just silence. Then, Chief D walked in, alive, standing, smiling, dressed in a clean white caftan, red cap tilted slightly, and his walking stick clicking confidently on the marble floor. "Good evening, my children." Everyone froze. Laura nearly fainted. Adana screamed. Even Ify almost ran, until she realized it was real. "I'm not dead," Chief D said calmly. "It was all a test." He looked around the room slowly. "I don't hate any of you. Not even you, Laura. But I needed to know who would protect what I built and who would destroy it." He turned to Ify and smiled. "Thank you, Ifeoma, for proving me right." Laura dropped to her knees, crying and begging. Keen, red-eyed and guilty, muttered, "This is crazy, Pops." "You really set us up." Cheek left the house quietly, ashamed. Adana rushed to her father, hugging him tightly, sobbing, "Daddy, I'm sorry. Daddy, please, I love you." Ify just hugged him, holding back tears. The house grew quiet after that. Chief D invited them all to dinner. But no one spoke much. The shame still hung in the air. Life moved on. Chief D lived for years. Ify got married. 2 years later, Cheek finally settled down. Keen's song eventually went viral. Not the one about his father, though. That one never saw daylight. Laura ended things with her sugar boy, and Adana started visiting more, this time without filters or fake tears. One quiet evening, Chief D sat on his balcony alone, drinking palm wine. The sun was setting gently. He sighed, smiled, and said to himself, "You will never know a man's true heart until it involves death and money."